It's very easy to say that everything is fantastic and all that, whatever, but there's been a deep and dark night behind it. There still is. But I'm only glad about one thing, that tomorrow if my son wants to come into this industry, or if he wants to go into any other industry, I as a father would definitely try and support him and give him that kind of structuring wherein he knows that there are people who are going to be there to guide him. My most memorable and the most beautiful times have been when there was no hope, because they are the most memorable times I have. It used to be raining, playing carom board, having finished all the money that had come in for the month's kharcha, and just having the chai and the carom board with your friends and just watching the rain fall and say, let's see what happens. I would get calls and say, we would like to see you. I would go meet people and they would say, oh, no, this is not the Jimmy we are looking at. We want that long hair, that same thing. I said, bro, that's
gone.
That's gone now. That was for Gulzar Saab Matches, and that was it. And thoda sa the character is Punjabi, then they go, सब कुछ आपको उसी टाइप का आता है. थोड़ा सा यूपी, then सब कुछ उसी टाइप का आता है. But that's okay. I guess you have to find your balance within that, and you try to make the character a little different in some way or the other. The problem arises when people are hell-bent and they say that ऐसे ही बोलना है और ऐसे ही करना है.
Hello everyone, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Zoom Speak Easy. My guest today is obviously extremely talented, but he was fighting not to get typecasted from the beginning of his career, and he has successfully managed to do that. For an actor, being able to do different kind of roles is what the goal is, and he has managed to do that and so much more. I'm of course talking about the very talented Jimmy Shergill. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Rani. Thank you.
I meant every word, because you have fought against typecasting and have won that battle successfully. Because I think in the industry, people always try to follow something that works. And you know, when you started your career, there were prototypes that people wanted to fit in. And you fought with that right after matches, I remember. So let us get into that a little bit.
Well, we're still fighting the same battle, because अभी भी क्या होता है कि वो अगर थोड़ा सा the character is Punjabi, then they go, सब कुछ आपको उसी टाइप का आता है. थोड़ा सा यूपी, then सब कुछ उसी टाइप का आता है. But that's okay. I guess you have to find your balance within that, and you try to make the character a little different in some way or the other. The problem arises when people are hell-bent and they say that ऐसे ही बोलना है और ऐसे ही करना है. And then you just smile and you say, okay, fine, this is what you want. Then
you give in? I think you fight.
करना ही पड़ता है, because it's too late by the time. It's too late to back out. When I got matches, Gulzar Saab had told me to grow my hair and the beard, whatever little I had of it at that point of time. And we finished the shooting of matches, and I got another film, another couple of films which I was doing at that point of time, which required me to be back to being clean-shaven and short hair and everything like that. But the irony was that after the release of matches, when I was clean-shaven and I had short hair and I was shooting for those two films, out of which one never released, and the other one released, got a lot of critical acclaim and everything like that. It had music by Gulzar Saab and Vishal, and was directed by Desh Deepak, who happened to be Vishal Bhai's friend, and that's how I had met him. And sad he's no more today, but and it had Nirmal Pandey and Sonali Kulkarni in it, Jahan Tum Le Chalo. So I would get calls and say, we would like to see you. I would go meet people, and they would say, oh, no, this is not the Jimmy we are looking at. We want that long hair, that same thing. I said, bro, that's
That's gone.
That's gone now. That was for Gulzar Saab Marches, and that was it. And so that happened to me a lot, many times, and I'm glad it happened because I ended up getting Mohabbatein. That's where it all started. Yeah.
But even after Mohabbatein, you kind of got stuck, right?
Yeah,
You
for
played
2
the
years.
boy.
For 2 years, I was doing that only. Till one day, I decided that I need to kind of think about what I'm going to do next, and that's where films like Munna Bhai MBBS and Hasil and all these films happened.
But you're also finding at that time, you've obviously been told that you have to play the central character, you have to be the lead. Otherwise, फिर वैसे मिलेंगे नहीं आपको roles, फिर आपको you'll be second.
वो insecurity तो थी क्योंकि क्या था कि जब हम बाकी उस टाइम पे जितनी फिल्में कर रहे थे, they were all either solo leads or 2 hero projects, and they all, when they released, they all did very, very well. But it's just that my thing was that I somewhere in my head I was looking at a larger picture, and I was like, bro, this making hay while the sun shines is not looking like a good idea, and I need to concentrate for the long run, and this might end any time. And that's where I started to choose films like Munna Bhai MBBS, Hasil, later on Yahan, and much later on A Wednesday, then Tanu Weds Manu, Sai Bibi Gangster series. So all those things were kept happening from time to time, and I kept holding back from, again, falling prey to, the usual stuff. And I think at that point of time, yes, there were insecurities. At that point of time, yes, there was the fact that, am I doing the right thing? Because everybody is saying that, boss, this is a wrong thing. You should be this thing. But then now when I look back, I think it's nice.
It's all worked fine. And today you're among the busiest actors doing numerous OTT shows.
I would like to be that busy, but I hate it when somewhere in the middle some things get postponed or cancelled, and first few days you enjoy being at home with family and doing your own thing, but then after that I start feeling a little jittery and I want to get back and start working on something. Yeah.
Like I was telling you, I did see a little of Choona. And it gave me a mix of different characters of yours, that you've gone all out to also show that you can be menacing. And that's very interesting. You've done roles like that, it's similar, but I feel this is very hardcore. If you take Panga with me, mujhe Choona lagaya, to fir then you might have a really difficult time. Did you also feel like that about this character? It sort of got out that really dark, I can be seriously dangerous kind of person.
So I'll tell you something interesting. When Mukesh Chhabra and Pushpinder got in touch with me regarding this particular series, when I read the entire script, I had kind of said that I'll pass this one, because my thing was that, Pushi, it is not exactly like the kind of roles that I've done before, but it makes me feel that even look-wise it's going to be pretty similar. So again, after a few days he would call me and, I want you. So we'll meet for a coffee and we'll have a coffee, and I will try and convince you that why I don't want to do this, because this OTT is a very different space and I want to do different things over here. I don't want to be repetitive or whatever and everything. Again, we would have a discussion, and again, okay, fine, let's meet after 3 days, and again we would talk, have a coffee, talk. He was trying to convince me that I am going to make sure this is very different to what you've done before. And my thing was, I don't think that is possible. About 10, 12 coffees down the line, he had convinced me that he's going to make it different, and he has. I mean, I've watched it. The only thing that comes to my mind now is only because of maybe his appearance a little bit, would be the Sahib of a Sahib Bibi Gangster. We've tried to not go into that zone also by making him a little crass also raw also at times in the show, which a Sahib would never be. But yes, this character has surprised me also, and it's all thanks to the director. I think I mean, 8, 10 coffees down the line, I was like, I think this man really needs me, and I think I'm gonna have fun shooting with this guy, and I think let's go for it. I'll go with my gut feel and believe him when he says that he's gonna make it very different. And I've watched about 3 episodes. That's all they showed me till now, and I've loved it, and I'm glad that I did the show.
Yeah. Did it feel nice to go in this zone where you can, like you said, to go a little bit crass, to go a little bit more gritty,
So this is a very different space, even for, like I always say, for OTT, I think this is the time where the people in power on the platforms should be gutsy enough to come up with something new, something different, because just following the same formula again and again, that this is how it should be and all that, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest example is the kind of a response that the trailer of Choona has got. You have to go through the comments. You have to understand how people are reacting, because they are the final end to your product, and they are the people who are going to watch it. So when they see something new, they can smell it. At least that's what I feel. When they see something new, they can smell it. And in such an organic way, the kind of a response, because chalo, theek hai, hamari promotion was designed because Shukla believes in astrology. So the whole promotion is designed according to astrology and everything like that and whatever. And when the trailer came out, we said that it's going to release on a certain date and all that, whatever. And obviously then now later on you'll get to know why, what and all that, whatever. Because the promotion is designed according to that. But still, I'm saying that they can smell it. They can smell something different in the show. So like, you need shows where things are happening, but then there is a humor to it. There is everything is happening in a very serious way, but there is humor attached to everything. The moment you get used to that world that a creator is trying to create. So I think it's very important for the makers, for the people in powerful positions across platforms to take that leap of faith and say that, we'll go for this. This is something different. So otherwise what happens is they feel that it's something different, it's very good, this guy's written it, but they'll put it on the back burner. We should not do that when you have some different kind of show. I'm not talking about Choona. I'm just in general talking about how more shows and more interesting stuff like Choona can come up across platforms, which will be very, very different to the usual formula that we keep following all the time.
No, absolutely. Does Jimmy believe in astrology, and do you have some traditions?
I've been through the phase of believing. I do believe in astrology. I think it's a science, and I think, but being madly into it is a phase that I've, जब आप बहुत रिसर्च करते हो चीज़ों की, अब वो देख लिया, अब समझ में आ गया कि ये है एक साइंस और ये एग्जिस्ट करती है, और मगर शुक्ला की तरह वो पागलपन नहीं है. शुक्ला तो मतलब एक अलग लेवल पे not like Shukla would, but I've been through the phase of getting too much into it and understanding how things happen, what. And I've understood one thing, that the person who's reading the chart has to be fantastic. Because it's a science, it's all about interpretations. And if the person interpreting is not correct, then it can backfire.
People have always said, oh, he's an underrated actor, he needs to get so much more stuff. And you've owned it, saying that means that they expect from me, and I like that. It gives me immense pleasure to see the kind of roles that you're being offered as well. So I'm going to take you back the sort of memory lane and probably sort of tell us how you feel today when you're sitting and when you started at the time, when you didn't have anyone here to sort of guide you in that way, to take you through where you're going to go. and both emotionally, financially, and all of that. So tell us about that moment, because I feel things are worked out, and look at where you are today.
I mean, it's very easy to say that everything is fantastic and all that, whatever, but there's been a deep and dark night behind it. There still is. But I'm only glad about one thing, that tomorrow if my son wants to come into this industry, or if he wants to go into any other industry, I as a father would definitely try and support him and give him that kind of structuring wherein he knows that there are people who are going to be there to guide him. And not only my son, I mean, any youngster who I know or I've worked with or something like that, I always have that thing of guiding them because I've been through it. So I'm glad about that. My life was supposed to be like this. There's no use of now sitting down and thinking, what if I had somebody guided? What if is a very big phase? What if my Bua had mustaches? She would be my chacha, you know what I mean? So I don't believe in all those things. It was in my destiny to go through this on my own and learn everything about life, about my job, about this industry or whatever. I've done that, and I hope that for my son or the younger people that I come across, I can only be there to help them.
But I think discussing this journey is never to sort of in any way think of what ifs. I feel like this conversation is also about how you've inspired a lot of people who think like they never can make it, right? Who come from different cities. I think when you talk about the dark times that you've had, I think like it also gives them hope that you've made it through. And I think that is the silver lining, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that you can survive without having anybody to guide you. The problem in coming and making it has never been there. I mean, that people know so many people who have come and made it, right?
Yeah.
But I think I just forgot one thing in the middle, was to catch hold of somebody who would guide me. That is what I forgot. I just kept going with the flow. My stories, that's the only difference between my story and all the other stories, is that I just forgot that I need to have somebody to guide me, and that is the only place jahan main thoda sa chook gaya.
Was there a moment where you almost gave up and then you kind of pulled yourself up? Is there an anecdote there?
Almost gave up?
Yeah.
No, I'm not one of those people who gives up.
Or like was very, very difficult?
No. In fact, my most memorable and the most beautiful times have been when there was no hope. Because they are the most memorable times I have. It used to be raining, playing carom board, having finished all the money that had come in for the month's kharcha, and just having the chai and the carom board with your friends and just watching the rain fall and say, let's see what happens. And I think those were the most memorable times. I mean, post that, when things start to happen, then you just get caught up in all these things, and then there is just work and all that. But those times are never going to come back.
Ji, but besides all of this, you're also an extremely secure actor. Actors are often told ki yahan pe dekho, there are so many, there are big production houses that you have to be involved with. You'll have to go to the parties and to people who control in some way the entire fraternity. But you've kind of been extremely secure about the place that you're in, and you've not really bothered about that. How have you managed to do that? Because a lot of actors, when they tell the stories, say that, we were advised, we were given this. It's very difficult to sometimes think that I'll be okay without doing all of that.
I mean, if I've survived that for 30 years, I think I hope I'm okay.
You're more than okay, which is why I want to know how. Like, I'm sure you got those advices.
I never got down to going for any parties unless it's somebody very, very close to me who really wants me to be there, and whatever. So you'll see me sometimes, being somewhere because it's a very close friend's premiere or something like that. Otherwise, most of the time I've been busy. And when you have to wake up really early in the morning for your work, it's damn difficult to go out and party the whole night. I would much rather party hard in real and then go for work rather than just go party for heck's sake and then go to the shoot without having slept, So I never got down to doing that. I think I don't think it's a very right thing to do. I feel that going there is very good because this is an industry where you need to mingle, you need to know people, and it's not only our industry, whether you're in any kind of business, if there is a night out and there are people that are going to be there, that one night can change your destiny. And I think it's not that I'm saying do this, no, please do go out. For the younger people and everything, I would say it's very, very important to go out and network because there could be that one elusive night, yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, I'm going to ask some fun questions now, Jimmy. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, what are the funniest nicknames that you've received in the industry?
Funniest nicknames?
Yeah. It can be family, it can be friends, it can be from the industry.
नहीं I don't think ऐसे कोई nicknames.
Tags, nicknames, which kind of seem funny.
No, I think for me it's always been very usual. I don't think anybody. It just feels nice when you're out somewhere and people call you by the character's name. I think that is amazing because suddenly somebody says Zahir Bhai, or suddenly somebody would say some other character's name and all that, whatever. That really makes you feel. But I don't think I've got any nicknames from. मेरा खुद का ही नाम ही जो वही nickname है तो क्या nickname मिलेगा?
Post Mohabbatein, what are the weirdest proposals that you received? Because we heard that there were a lot of women fawning over you.
नहीं ऐसे कोई proposal नहीं थे. अच्छा था वो sweet था. हम भी sweet थे लोगों के लिए हम भी सारा कुछ करते थे. But yeah, I mean there was that film had a craze, and post that also films like Yaar Ki Shaadi and all these had their own. Dil Vil Pyar Vyar, all those were like musical big hits and everything like that. But yeah, nothing that I would change again if I had to go back to it. Yeah, those were lovely memories, and it's very nice when people actually pick up stuff from that time and put it now, and just it keeps becoming viral, and you look back and you say, oh wow, I did this film, and lovely memories, yeah.
Who, according to you, you've shared best on-screen chemistry with?
In terms of being really close to somebody, I think it's always been Uday Chopra. I think we were very, very close as friends, and it's just that now he's traveling and I'm busy with my work. We don't get to spend so much time together, but at that point of time, we were doing some films together also, and we used to work out together. And so whenever we were working together, we had a nice rapport, and we used to enjoy.
Friends from the industry, you can give a call at even at 4 a.m. for advice.
I could probably give that advice at about 5 in the morning. That's the time I wake up now, because मैं पहले सिर्फ शूटिंग के लिए जल्दी उठता था. बाकी टाइम पे जब भी मौका मिलता था मैं I used to sleep till whatever time I could. But then I realized that, boss, I've done that. Now I need to, on a regular basis, start getting up early. So for the past 4, 5 years, 6 years, I try to rise before the sun rises because I like it. And I've started loving it, so I'm addicted to it now. And so yeah, 5 onwards I can give you an advice. But
no, I'm saying, so if you had to ask an advice from the industry to someone, genuinely, as who
I'll probably have to ask somebody who wakes up at 5 in the morning.
You know, okay, let's say people who are normal time. Who would you probably ask for genuine advice?
नहीं, मेरे बड़े करीबी दोस्त हैं. आनंद राय, इंडस्ट्री की एडवाइस लेनी होगी तो I would take it from Anand or Neeraj or Tishu or one of these closest ones like Sujit and all these people. I think, yeah.
People always keep telling you, want to see Kangna and you together. What kind of film would you think people cast you?
पता नहीं यार मुझे. Well, I don't know. She's a brilliant actress. That's all I can say.
Okay, fair enough. किसने या आपने कभी किसी को as a joke चूना लगाया है when you were young? Have you sort of?
मुझे बहुत लोगों ने लगाया चूना. अभी वो लाइन बड़ी लंबी है और लगता ही रहता है. बट चूना एक ऐसी चीज है जब लगता है तो आप किसी को लगाने वाला भी किसी को नहीं बताता और लगने वाला भी किसी को नहीं बताता है. और पूछिए क्यों?
हाँ जी.
पूछिए क्यों?
क्यों?
अब अगर मुझे चूना लगेगा तो मैं आपको थोड़ा बताऊंगा कि मुझे चूना लग गया है. और अगर आप मुझे चूना लगाएंगे तो आप दुनिया को थोड़ा ना जाके बताएंगे कि आपने मुझे चूना लगाया है, क्योंकि फिर आप किसी और को चूना नहीं लगा पाएंगे.
It's a vicious circle.
Yeah, absolutely.
वो ट्रिक्स अपने पास ही रखना पड़ता है.
जी.
Who has an actor who has been your inspiration, whose journey you look at and inspires you, and why?
So, but yes, there are people who inspire you a lot, and who, you know, you've always been inspired in terms of when we talk about commercial, it's a different kind of a feel. When we talk about the other offbeat kind of films that got people like a Irfan Khan, like a Today's Date and Time, a Nawazuddin, a Pankaj Tripathi, you feel happy because you feel that, you know, these are talented people who have come from a different way. At some point you have interacted with them and you have worked with them, and at that point you say that, you know, that time only I said this man is gonna this thing it. So it feels great, yeah.
Does Jimmy Shergill also agree that he looks a little like Pedro Pascal? I think I should show the picture, no? For people to sort of see how similar. You reacted to that on Twitter as well, so that was interesting.
So, but it's nice that from time to time people do this, because Abhi is Pedro. Before that was Barry Pepper. At some point it was somebody else. So it's nice. वो कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ना कुछ similarity निकलती रहती है तो.
Looked very similar. What did you think? It did, right?
Yeah, it did.
For a moment.
But it's been happening since a while now. Yeah. Finally, I had to react to it.
They are. So you do react to all the memes. You're dealing with social media. Okay?
If something is interesting, I do.
You don't get trolled so much, which is among the very few actors that happen. But how do you deal with the negativity if you read also about it? How do you deal with that?
नहीं, मैं यही सोचता हूँ कि वो भी बेचारा जो कर रहा है उसकी भी कोई रोजी रोटी है, वो भी बेचारा कुछ तो करके कर रहा होगा, तो या उसकी कोई प्रॉब्लम होगी या उसको कुछ होगा, तो
You look at it like that.
हमारे जाने के बाद भी दुनिया चलती रहेगी यार. So you don't have to react to everything that you see or hear.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. This is the level of zen I want to reach. What I have learned from this interview is that a lot of things. I hope one day. I obviously can never come close to your craft because that's not my zone at all. But this is what I inspire, to be as zen as you are and to be as secure as you are. Jimmy, you're wonderful. I'm looking forward to Choona, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
No Choona
thank you for the lovely interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure.